On this episode, we host Goose from 99.7 The Blitz Radio Station here in Columbus as we talk him through beginner bourbon tasting. So sit back, grab a pour, kick up your feet, and enjoy this episode of The Bourbon Hunters.
Gather round the mic, it's time to unwind. Drinking our bottles, all that we find. With tastings and tales, we're sharing our pours. Tune in each week, there will always be more. Tune in each week, there's lots to hear. Laughter and stories, we're all here to share. We're giving our ratings, they're always fair. Sit back, grab a pour, kick up your feet and enjoy.
While you're listening, head over to our website at bourbonhunters.com where you can purchase Bourbon Hunters glassware and products, and sign up for our Patreon, which puts you on the list for single barrel announcements from our private barrel club.
Tune in each week, sit back. Tune in each week, grab a pour. Tune in each week, kick up your feet and enjoy. Kick up your feet and enjoy.
Welcome to another episode of the Bourbon Hunters. I am Duke Poole, and I'm joined by
Rep Ryan.
Frittermeister.
all one word.
All one word.
And
Goose.
And Goose. So Goose, that's a pretty interesting name.
Yeah, old school nickname from high school. Movie
Okay.
Top Gun, my best friend Maverick and Goose, and
Very
it
nice.
just kind of stuck when I started my radio career.
All right. Yeah, so speaking of radio career, you are
Yeah, I'm the morning show host for 99.7 The Blitz here in Columbus, Ohio.
nice. And so I was actually listening this morning, and you guys were doing some interesting like tastings of what you did, a smoothie, you did the chicken tenders.
Yeah, so we do this little bit called Taste Test Tuesday, and I'll find unique, crazy concoctions on the internet that people are crazy about, and we'll try them out on Tuesdays. And every so often we'll get a local restaurant that wants to try out a new recipe, so they'll bring in whatever new flavor wing they have or whatever. So yeah, today was an amazing local restaurant called Huey Magoo's, and we tried their chicken tenders, and then we tried the Heinz ketchup smoothie, which is the new product. Yep, it's an actual product at Smoothie King that you can get.
I like Heinz over Hunt's.
I mean,
Nobody likes Hunts. If you like Hunts,
Hunt's is
then
the Timu. Heinz.
yes, 100%.
It's catsup versus ketchup.
right.
Did you guys ever see that episode of The Simpsons where he's like,
Catsup.
catsup?
Yes.
Ketchup.
And they hold up the milk, and it's like milk.
Milk.
Oh, shoot. All right. So, all right. You're on the podcast. You don't have a lot of experience with bourbon or whiskey. You like it, right? But you just don't. You wouldn't call yourself an enthusiast yet.
No and no.
Okay.
None of the above. No,
All right,
I'm not a huge whiskey drinker.
Okay.
It's not something that I ever sat down. I see people with their snifters or their rocks glasses, and I would say whiskey comes around when I'm at the bar and it's like, oh, you want to do a shot, and someone shows up with like some Jack, and it's like, okay, we'll do a
Fair.
shot of Jack.
What'd you tell me? You're a tequila guy?
No, Captain Morgan.
Morgan.
Yeah.
Okay. Rum. Okay.
Spiced rum.
Yep, spiced rum. Yep.
So I think that's a great introduction to, I think, most people, like whether it's college, whether it's high school, going out when you're not supposed to be drinking. And that's generally what it is. It's shots of whiskey or bourbon or whatever. You know, people are just taking it and slamming it back, and it's usually Jack or Jim.
Camping when you're 16, stealing it from your stepdad.
And filling it up with water, topping it off.
Topping it
The
off with
bottle.
water.
Yeah.
He was too drunk already. He didn't know.
That's the vodka trick. I don't,
Yeah.
You have
That
to use
was-
iced tea for whiskey.
I would crack open like a Diet Coke, and I would drink a little bit and then pour it into my can. Walk around campground.
Oh, there you go. Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, it was my first kind of drunken experience was a New Year's Eve with my best friend Maverick sitting in the car, passing a bottle of Old Granddad whiskey back and forth.
There's where the old granddad.
Yep.
Yeah, that's where it came from. Yep, it sat in my parents' cabinet that they got for like their wedding 30 years prior
That's
because my
awesome.
parents weren't
Was it
drinkers.
1991?
95.
It's probably delicious.
Yeah,
I mean, it was probably the best old granddad that ever existed. You just
Yeah.
it just happened.
You mix it with Coke? No.
No, we just passed the bottle
nice.
back and forth. Yeah,
I got to try 1980 Old Granddad 114. Stupid good.
So what did we try with? That wasn't old granddad, was it?
Ancient Age.
Yeah, it was
Ancient Age from like
Oh.
the late 70s.
Yeah.
with
that was
Lorenzo.
outstanding.
That was amazing.
But same thing. That's
Yeah.
before all the conglomerates came in, up the barrel entry proof, and just I don't know the current iterations of those at like the lower proofs are like watered down. They're not as viscous because of it. So like what you didn't even realize you probably had was something
something really good.
Yeah, most likely, yeah. Okay, so we're going to treat this like we would a tasting for beginners. Just talking about some things and walking through how to do some stuff as far as like nosing, tasting, talking about mash bills and its influence in different proofs throughout the tasting. So what we have out here tonight, we've got Weller Special Reserve, we've got Weller Antique, so a little same mash bill, jump in proof. We've also got a Maker's Mark, just standard Maker's Mark. So we're all weeded tonight. And then we're going to finish with our barrel pick that we did, or private select that we did, just to give an example of, okay, this is Maker's Mark, but now this is Maker's Mark in a finished environment. So we'll talk about that when we get to that. So let's go ahead and pour out some of the Weller Special Reserve and pass that around, and we'll kind of talk through the nosing.
You want to start, JD?
JD, no, come on.
Goose is not a stranger. Oh, okay.
You're the giggle pour master.
on the Makers, is the wax on or the wax off?
The wax is off now.
Yeah, I was going to let it breathe a little bit, so I opened it. It would be a Hyman pour, is what we would call that.
Yeah.
Is this a Hyman twist?
Brett waxed it off earlier. Yeah. So, Goose, just to give you a little background, there's a thing that a lot of people get irritated, that a term or a phrase that people use called a neck pour. So when you first open a bottle, they call it a neck pour because you're pouring out of the neck. But even though when you turn it, you're actually, you're getting stuff from all over.
Right.
Yeah. And it's liquid, so it's all mixed anyway. So we got irritated by that phrase. A lot of people get irritated by that phrase. So we replaced neck pour with Hyman pour. We think that's a little more descriptive. So that's where that came from.
It's caught on. We've heard a few people kind of use that, which is
outside of our podcast.
Martell got Connor O'Driscoll to say it on Jason's Live.
Nice.
Yeah. So it's getting a little groundswell, if you will. I mean, not as viral as some TikTok thing or something.
Did you say swill?
I did say swill.
That's punny.
Jesus. All right, let's move on. So we have some whiskey in the glass and some on my pillow. Apparently. Got a little too excited with the swirl. So what we always try to tell people when they are nosing bourbon is to not just shove your nose straight into the glass.
I can't help it because of the surface area of my nose, and it just happens.
You've got to shove the whole nose in there. Or you're not going to get anything.
Or I'm all the way back here, right? It just,
right. Well, I mean, you're all the way back there, and your nose is still in the glass.
I mean, I was in its shadow the other day.
We call that an eclipse.
A nasal eclipse.
Yeah. Nasal eclipse of the heart.
I thought I was looking at a topographical map of Utah. That's what I thought. But
I mean, we've all thought that.
Is Peter Griffin hanging from it?
Jesus. Anyway, so we always recommend putting your nose to adjacent to the glass, breathing through your mouth. I recommend using both nostrils. Do one side, then do the other, because your nostrils or
nares
will,
for individual singular.
They will switch every I think it's every 5 minutes as to which one is the dominant nostril. So it's good to breathe through both while you're doing this to get something. Now we just came from a 100 proof whiskey, so this may not give you as much on the nose. You might want to go a little bit further in with your nose.
I was going to say it's definitely lighter than
a little muted.
what we tried for sure.
This is
sorry, go ahead.
90 proof, right? Yeah, 90 proof compared to the 100 proof we just did. So 5% less. But this is also wheated, and wheateds are generally known to be a little softer. Rye-based whiskeys. So just for everyone listening and for you, to be a bourbon, it has to be at least 51% corn. The secondary grain is what we refer to as whether it's a wheated or a rye-based.
Right, okay.
So if it's bourbon, it's primarily corn, at least 51%. The amount above that is up to the mash bill or the distiller, what they choose. The secondary grain is a lot of times how we refer to the bourbon. So a wheated bourbon would mean the secondary grain is wheat. A rye-based bourbon, which most people just say bourbon for that, because that's more predominant than the wheated type, would mean that the secondary grain would then be a rye. There are some 4 grains out there, and the third grain usually is malted barley.
Okay.
But if it's a 4 grain, it would mean that it's corn, rye, and wheat, depending on which one's secondary and which one's tertiary, whatever. And then the fourth one would be the malted barley usually.
Okay, real dumb question. What's bourbon or bourbon whiskey?
So bourbon. So all bourbon is whiskey.
Is whiskey, right?
But not all whiskey is bourbon. You might have a rye-based whiskey, which is 51% rye or higher. You might have Scotch whiskey. You might have Irish whiskey.
Scotch whiskey or bourbon whiskey.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then there's different differentiations of the type of bourbon. You can have a straight bourbon, which means it's at least 2 years old. If it's under 2 years, I think it has to have an age statement on it. And then 4 years. No,
Under 4 years.
no, you can be straight bourbon and be 2.
No, I mean age statement.
You don't have to under 4 years, just under 2.
I thought it was 4.
You thought that last time we had this conversation, and you were wrong. So bottled and bond means it has to be at least 4 years old, and it has to be in a bonded warehouse, has to be from the same distilling season. So you can't mix. So the new riff that we just recently had, they brought from 2 different seasons, so it couldn't be called bottled and bond, even though it matched all the other, criteria for that.
Okay.
But that being said, I don't want to bore everyone with the details. Let's go ahead and dive into this a little bit and start. You're starting off correctly on this one as opposed to the Mouth Experience Monday you did where we jumped right into a 100 proofer. So this one should be a little bit easier for you to take.
Most certainly is smoother.
Mm-hmm. It's definitely softer. And I think that's the wheat that does that. Also, the wheat. Also being 90 proof helps.
Yes. So, yeah, we've dropped down a little bit in proof. We are doing a wheated bourbon, and a lot of people who are new to bourbon or whiskey prefer the wheat because it is a little bit, they call it maybe softer, not as sharp as like a rye whiskey. That rye spice happens to give it some spiciness. It kind of amplifies sometimes to some people the proof. So, like 100 proof rye-based bourbon might taste a little hotter than 100 proof wheat-based bourbon because that rye spice adds a little bit of spiciness to that flavor, and some people take that spiciness as proof. So what we always try to do when we're doing, and this took me getting over COVID, losing my sense of taste and smell, and then getting it back amplified afterwards before I could really start picking out notes. But what most people try to tell you to do when you're trying to find notes is, close your eyes. What does it remind you of? Like, JD's amazing at this part of it, where he actually takes something that he tastes and he somehow maps it back to some childhood memory of like his grandmother making biscuits while he was laying on the floor playing with a Matchbox car.
You shouldn't start drinking that early, JD.
Right. But that's the stuff you'll get from him. He's really good. Fred Minnick's another person who kind of does that. He has a way to kind of weave in a story about what it reminds him of when he was growing up or the first time he maybe remembers that flavor from.
Nostalgia recall.
Yeah, and so tying it to something like that, I think it gives it a little more power when you're doing that, but you may not get anything. You might just be like, it's smooth, or it's sweet, or it's spicy, or whatever, and that's good. That's all you need. I mean,
all Tyler says is great.
Yeah,
good.
It's wet.
It's wet.
Yeah. That's one of Tyler's descriptive words, wet. If you could imagine.
Okay.
That.
Yeah, and he doesn't mean what you think
thin.
it means. He thinks he means thin. It just kind of runs off the tongue. It doesn't have that coating or that viscosity. Okay. So he calls that wet.
But then he'll sit there and say, I don't mean thin, but it's wet.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I'm a whore for like viscosity, like a bourbon that like lingers, like maple syrup, very viscous. Like that is my wheelhouse. That's what I really enjoy personally. So it's something that's like a Werther's Original, like butterscotch candy that just, what I'm saying?
Wow, okay, yeah.
Like that's the stuff that I really enjoy personally. This comes off a little youthful to me. I feel like I taste some corn in it for sure. I don't even know what these are aged at. I know it's not stated, but they're churning them out so fast now.
Well, and I do believe, minus the 12-year, that's the only one that, they have a new one that carries an age statement now.
18-year.
The 18-year, I think. But other than that, I think the 12-year is the only one that's an age-stated bourbon. Mm-hmm. And I think you're right. I do think not only do they go up in proof a little bit, but they also go up in age. And so as you're tasting through whiskeys, there's a couple of things that are going to play a part in the flavor of those whiskeys. So the mash bill is part of it. So if it's 70% corn versus 51% corn and just barely a bourbon, or if it's like 30% rye as a secondary, grain versus 15% rye. A lot of times that will determine the flavor that eventually matures with the wood. Its interaction with the wood and with oxygen is what really gives it its flavors. So,
full flavor, right.
So the heat and the cold of Kentucky summers and winters it will expand the liquid into the wood, and inside the wood is a charred barrel, right?
Yep.
So it's going to go in and soak up those wood sugars, those natural sugars that form from the burning of the wood, pull them back into the liquid. Then it's like a breathing, and then as it evaporates, you're getting more interaction with the air too. So that oxidation occurs over time.
And they'll make barrels out of different types of wood to change.
Different types of oak.
Oak, okay,
For
gotcha.
bourbon,
Oak
it's
barrel,
got to be
gotcha.
oak, but you can use different types of oak.
French oak.
French oak. You can.
Why did you sound like you were Creole when you did that? You're like some French oak.
I was trying to sound French.
What the fuck was that?
You got Canadian oak, eh?
Oh man. So, anywho, yes. So the different types of oaks, and we'll get to that when we talk about that Maker's Mark finished one that we have, because it was all finished. It's still bourbon because it's all finished with new oak staves, but they're different types of oak staves that impart different flavors as it ages. So some will give like some butteriness that he likes. Some will give that spiciness. Some will give like a vanilla. It just really depends. And that's what's really interesting about those Maker's Mark private selects that we'll get to in a minute. You'll see things happen like Kentucky versus Texas. Texas, their bourbon or their whiskey will turn browner quicker because it's just constant heat, nonstop.
Okay, yeah.
So constant, going in, absorbing into the wood or expanding into the wood. But what it doesn't get is that oxidation a lot of times. So a lot of times you'll taste a Texas whiskey that's very dark, but still tastes a lot like corn because the corn hasn't kind of matured out of it yet, just that straight up corn flavor. When you get an aged bourbon from Kentucky, you'll get that oxidation, you'll get that, interaction with the wood. So over time, you'll start to get a little bit more of what I think most people come to think they like in bourbon, and that's the sweetness, the notes of the wood from the tobacco kind of flavors, the wood flavors, the leathery type of flavors, but then also kind of the sugars, the vanilla, the caramels, the butterscotch, stuff like that.
Well, I was just gonna say in this one we were just trying the Weller Special Reserve. I like a back note of like cherry in there for some reason.
No, but that's very common actually in bourbon. You'll see
Buffalo
it.
Trace.
Yeah, Buffalo Trace has a lot of their products that give like a cherry cola or a a dark cherry type of note, like a Luxardo cherry.
I'm
or something.
thinking like I spent a bunch of time in Traverse City, and they got the lots of
Fucking
cherries.
love
out there.
Traverse City.
Yeah.
Those are my favorite cocktail cherries. That's the only
That's
cherries
what I'm
I put
saying,
in
yeah.
the cocktails.
Yeah.
The Traverse City cocktail
Those
cherries.
I'm with
dark,
you.
those
Yeah,
dark
same.
cherries.
You can
I'm
order
with
those.
you there.
You can order those on Amazon, and
That's all I use
that's
as
all
well.
I use.
Yep.
They sell
Same.
them at Meyer over off Hoover
Do
Road.
they now?
Do they really?
Don't you mean Myers?
I am from the Mitten, and I do
Michigan,
say
Midwest.
Myers.
yes.
Yep.
So they used to sell them at the Britton Parkway Giant Eagle. They don't sell them there anymore, so that's good to know. The Meyer.
They
here-
also
Giant
sell,
Eagles.
yeah, the
They
Giant Eagles.
also sell frozen Buddies pizzas in that Myers.
Do they
as well.
really?
Yes.
I bought
didn't know
11 of
that.
them
Jeez.
Are they
last
any-
week.
How many are left?
5.
I love that he bought 11 of them.
Are they any good? Do they taste like buddies?
So let me tell you. Yeah, you know Buddies.
Yo,
Look
absolutely.
at,
buddies.
look at his eyes. You don't even have to wait for the answer.
It comes in like a tray.
Mm-hmm.
You know how they make them in those black pans
Yep.
that they've just let the butter soak into it. They never scrape them.
Never
clean,
wash
never
them,
wash
yeah.
them. Yeah, just a rinse job, right? So these come in a tray that they pre-season, and then you just pop that into the oven, and they've
Okay.
already started the baking process in their own
Yeah,
pan,
yeah, yeah.
but it's not finished, and they flash freeze it and send them out. You finish them off in your oven, and it's like 88% to the real product.
Okay.
Meyer is this again?
That's a very precise measurement.
I know.
88%.
Well, I mean,
I didn't want to go 90 because I've had the restaurant
Right. If
edition.
you have a fresh Buddies pizza,
There's nothing
then,
like
yeah,
it.
There's nothing
All
like
right.
it. So.
All right.
and they use a
88% it is.
focaccia dough.
Yep.
He got excited about focaccia. The focaccia.
You remind me of like Back to the Future where he's like 88 gigawatts. Like
We need Jason here for that.
1.21
yeah, oh, there it
21.
is. Sorry, I totally fucked
88
it up.
88 was
miles
the
an hour.
miles per hour.
Ah, I failed.
That'd be a lot of gigawatts.
You blew it. Oh, that was pretty bad.
So yeah, go get a frozen Buddies pizza.
You know what?
They
You
have
know what?
Supreme.
Hold on. You know what you did on that, Brett?
I fumbled.
You pulled a JD.
I fumbled.
JD messes up every quote in every movie.
I do.
He changed it just enough. Like, what was you used to say the salt? What would you say?
Luke, you are not the father. Wait, no, that's Maury Povich.
No, for the
Hold on.
Sandlot.
The Cletus of Clout.
Yeah, he would say the Cletus of Clout, and I'm like, what the fuck are you saying? The Cletus of Clout.
The colossal.
Sometimes if you just say it with
Colossus.
confidence, people will believe you.
Right,
You
yeah,
just got to
that's-
take that,
that
right?
is-
And just run
To
with
be
it.
honest, it took me 2 or 3 times of him saying that to be like, wait, that's not right.
Bring me back real quick. Which Meyer has this? Because I want to go get one of these pizzas.
Grove City off Hoover Road 665.
Okay.
Yeah, that's not worth the trip.
I'll just
Yes,
go.
Buddy's
Don't be
Pizza.
talking.
Where's the
buddies.
regular pizzeria?
Detroit.
They've got
Oh, okay, never
multiple
mind. All right.
locations.
There's
up in
multiple-
Detroit.
No, Detroit's the original.
Detroit style
Yes.
pizza?
Yeah.
It's
I'll
the
get
original
one.
Detroit style. Well,
I'll buy one of
but
your
it's-
11.
The
but
pepperonis are hidden underneath the cheese and sauce.
Yep.
Interesting.
I mean, it's
That's how I like
delicious.
my pepper. In fact, when I would order Pizza Hut, hand tossed, I would always ask for the pepperoni
Put
under
the
the
pepperoni
cheese.
first, and then put down
will they
the
do it?
cheese.
Because, yeah, they will. And if they don't, and you complain, they'll give you a free pizza. That was always a little trick. When I was in college, it was perfect. But if they don't, the way Pizza Hut cooks their pizzas, the pepperonis would burn to a point where, like, I like when they burn a little and they curl
They
up.
curl up.
But if they burn too much, they become
See, but Buddy's
not good.
has New World pepperoni, which is the
Oh,
big
yeah.
the big slices
Yeah, the big-
underneath the cheese.
Yeah.
But then they also you can ask for Old World pepperoni,
Yeah.
which I get, which they
with
put
Well,
on
they
top.
don't,
teacups,
they don't
yeah.
have the old world in the frozen
like
pies.
Right.
They have the new world.
I do too, if they're cooked right.
But you can get Supreme, you can get meat lovers, pepperoni, sausage, or just cheese.
Okay.
And the cheese they use is authentic brick.
There he is
Very,
again.
very, a lot of pronunciation going on tonight.
I'm passionate.
I heard every letter in that word. Authentic.
Even the ones you weren't supposed to hear.
Right.
Like there was a Z in there somewhere. I don't know where
I'm
that
very
came from.
passionate about buddies. It's authentic brick cheese from Wisconsin.
It's very good. Yes.
All right.
nice. You've sold me.
I know.
I'm going to buy one of
I'm
these pizzas.
semi-interested in driving to Grove
Right.
City to buy a frozen
You might as well
pizza
continue
way-
on to my house.
By the way, and you
for
know,
another 30 minutes.
secret from back in the day, you didn't have to order a pizza to complain. We used to call Little Caesars and just say, "Hey, last time I ordered, they screwed up my 3 large pizzas."
Way to save that $5.
That's what I was going to say. That $5 hot and ready.
Yeah.
Hey, back then,
$5 hot and ready wasn't a thing growing up.
Back then, that was
How
$5.
old are you?
I'm 48.
Okay, I'm 50. So
Yeah.
interesting.
That was
Yeah,
$5
$5
gas.
hot and ready reinvented Little Caesars.
Well, it was pizza for the longest time.
Correct.
So you would order one pizza, you got a
Yeah,
second
2.
pizza for free. So it was like $5.50 a pizza, I think, or something. Or
And they
$6
gave it to you in a
pizza.
fucking garbage bag.
Right.
Like it was,
Yeah,
it was that paper wrapped.
They were saving
Like it
money
soaks through
everywhere
the
they
paper.
were.
Yes.
You don't remember the double wide?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
do.
Okay.
I do remember that.
There was a lot of iterations of the pizza. There were, but yeah, they did everything they could to save as much money as they could and still somehow make a profit. I still don't even know how they make.
It's funny how they stole a term from a trailer to pizza, but
I think
Double wide.
Double wide, yep.
it might be recycled pizza. I don't know how they make money. That's all I'm saying. All right, so let's move on. We've got Weller Antique in the glass.
but back then,
Oh, yeah.
you could get 5 gallons of gas for $5, so you're getting
Yeah.
gas and pie.
Hey, you're talking to 2 guys that got less than $1 a gallon gasoline when they first got their licenses.
I was getting
Like
99
75,
cents
80,
a gallon when
yeah.
I started driving.
Yeah, I was right
Yeah.
in the 98 cents
Yeah.
when we
Yeah.
first started driving.
And I had a 1985 5.0 fuel injection T-top Trans Am that was scarlet and gray.
Just pulling into the parking lot, blasting like Guns N' Roses
Oh.
or Poison.
No, it was the Chronic for me. Dr.
There you
Dre.
go, yeah.
It was Dr. Dre, the Chronic. And so my dad wrecked that car just after I turned 17. Totaled it. And you know what I got in replace? Even better. A 4-door 1978 Buick LeSabre
Nice.
that was blue.
Oh, I was a 77 Oldsmobile Cutlass
Oh.
with the baby blue bench seats in the
I feel
front
like
and
my
back.
parents had one of those.
Yeah, I had the bench
100%.
seats. Yeah, Oldsmobile Buick. Yeah, yeah.
I had a 1991 IROC Z T-tops.
That's another pretty cool car. The IROCs were awesome.
The IROCs at that time were basically the Trans Am.
Yeah, they were the-
They were the same car almost. I mean, you had almost the same car I did just a couple years ago.
I was literally the Kid Rock from Joe Dirt with the wife beater and the long
Yeah,
curly hair.
I could totally see that.
Yeah, that fits. That tracks. I'm on board. I'm on board. All right. Where's that peanut butter inclined? All right. So let's introduce the antique Weller 107 here. So we have jumped up from 90 proof up to 107 proof. Hence the name Weller Antique.
Used to be
107.
called OWA.
Yes, Old Weller Antique. is
Now
what-
there's a Z at the end.
Yes, Wellers.
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 So this is an Ohio, plentiful thing. It's used like prison cigarettes. People trade it for
It's
better
liquid
things.
money.
Yeah, basically. But same mash bill as what we just had. Now we've just upped the proof, potentially the age a little bit. We're not
I'd say a
sure
little
because
bit.
it's not age stated. But we've added now, 17 proof points. So
Yes.
Substantial.
This still doesn't smell as harsh, as you will, as the very first thing we did.
Sure.
For
And so that's a good point because this is actually 7 points higher than what we just had, that new riff.
Yeah.
So you're 7 points higher, but it's a wheated whiskey. It might be matured a little bit longer, and so it could, it's still going to have probably softer edges to it than, say, something like that new riff.
Rumor is 6 to 8 years.
Yeah, that's the going theory.
4 to 5 on reserve.
And I think the finish on this is a little longer. It lasts in your palate a little bit longer.
Which tracks with a higher proof
Yeah.
and a little bit more of an age statement.
Oh,
And
yeah,
that's
for
something
sure.
I was talking about earlier, right? I like that when it lasts a little bit longer. After you breathe out, you almost get like that second taste that you get of it. I used to actually not like this, believe it or not. It
That's
used
what
to
they
come
call
off.
the finish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone
Jesus.
knew. It used to come off very like cinnamon for me, like big red gum cinnamon. I don't get that anymore on this. I don't know if my palate has evolved. I don't know. I fucking hate big red gum cinnamon.
How do you really feel?
I wish it would like die.
I
No,
still
I'm kidding.
I still get cinnamon.
But it's not offensive to me.
No,
like
it's like natural cinnamon, not a
artificial
cinnamon.
It's in the 90s, right? We're back in the 90s. You're going to pop in a movie.
Here it is.
What do you
Buckle
throw
up.
What do you throw on to have while you're watching a movie?
The Sandlot.
No,
Well-
he's saying food wise.
Oh.
Snack-wise.
Oh, snack wise, I thought you meant the movie.
What are you making with the movie?
I mean, probably
Are you
popcorn.
going with the popcorn?
Okay.
You're not reaching for the Orville Redenbacher, butter popcorn. No, you're going to reach for that kettle corn. And then
It's taking you down a path, right? It's a
And then-
journey.
That's what I'm saying. This is what I'm talking about
journey.
right here.
And then now I'm going to time travel back to current day and then go back because I'm
88 miles per hour.
dashing 1.21 gigawatts.
Gigawatts.
I'm dashing some tahini. There's a little bit of
A little bit
lime,
of
a little
tahini.
bit of spice on that popcorn.
All right.
That sweet popcorn.
This is a new
We weren't that fancy when we grew up.
and this is a new trip down Memory Lane here.
JD
There's no
Lane.
grandma or mom involved. This is just JD.
JD being JD.
Just being a scientist in the kitchen, just making
Yeah.
shit.
All right. I mean, I think I'm pretty much on board with everything you just said, with the exception of a VHS tape.
Cassette tape's best friend, a pencil.
Yeah. I mean, for in your car, like VHS pencil wasn't going to do it unless you had one of those big ass
You'd
pencils.
use your thumb.
You get the
Yeah, you
big
had to use your
eraser
thumb.
though and jam it in there and
What were your childhood snacks?
Dude.
Like, what's your nostalgic childhood snack? He's talking about popcorn.
kettle corn.
I was
Apologies.
as a kid, I loved cereal. So it was
like dry cereal or with milk?
No, with milk.
Okay.
But I would sit down with a mixing bowl and a wooden spoon with half a bowl of like Fruity Pebbles.
Whole milk or
For
2%?
sure. We never bought whole milk. Sugar cereal is always best with whole milk.
Oh, for sure.
But it
100%.
was 2%. And even worse was growing up with a diabetic dad, it was just
Skim
skim
milk.
milk.
Which is just water. It's like milk flavored water.
Right. Yeah.
I never
But I get
understood
the,
that.
I get the Captain Crunch was a big one. You eat all the Captain
the
Crunch
berries.
before
Oh.
you get to the berries. You pick around,
Yes.
eat all the Captain
and then
Crunch.
finish on a high note.
You're right.
Okay,
And
right.
then finish all the berries. Which, by the way, fuck them kids nowadays who can go to the store and buy
Crunchy
oops all
berries.
berries.
Yeah,
You
what's that?
lazy bastards.
Yeah,
you have to
seriously.
earn your berries. You don't just get to jump in with all berries.
My berries didn't drop until I was like wait, what are we talking about?
You know what we call those kids? Dingleberries.
Yes.
Oh God.
Okay, so Captain Crunch question for you.
My
Yes.
God, JD.
Does it or does it not fuck up the roof of your mouth?
Oh, 100%.
See?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been
It's
saying
like-
this for
but
years.
It's like
one's-
popcorn
hey,
stealing.
here's the thing, Brett. You're saying it like people are arguing with
Some
you.
people do argue it.
No one argues that.
This was a
fact.
Family Guy skit, even.
No.
Where like Captain Crunch is like, my cereal does not tear up the roof of your mouth.
Hey, did you hear him? He's like, it was a family skit. Even.
Family Guy.
Hey,
Family
whatever.
Guy.
But you
Yeah.
sounded like who's the
What did you say?
No, the cartoon. It was a Family Guy skit. Even
Oh, you're talking about the old Hanna-Barbera guy.
Hanna-Barbera.
Yes.
Was it
Yes.
Yogi Bear? No.
No.
No, the blue
no.
guy.
Even.
He was a blue dog.
Yeah, I know exactly what
I know,
you're
yeah.
talking
Oh,
about.
Huckleberry.
Huckleberry Hound.
Huckleberry Hound.
But that was even lucky to get Captain Crunch because we grew up very poor, so we had to go to the milk crate section at the end of the aisle where it was like $1.99 for. It was like carrying around a bag of puppy chow over your shoulder. It was like 3 pounds of cereal.
It wasn't Captain Crunch. It was
Seaman Steve.
It was Colonel Crunch. Colonel Crack.
Yeah, had a parrot with AIDS on its shoulder. Like
Cinnamon Toast Crisp.
Yeah, it was awful.
Hepatitis parrot.
Yes, it was awful. Had scabies. Like the captain was up on the box scratching his scabies.
He didn't have to scratch his scabies. The parrot would scratch it for him.
Yeah.
He was eating the scabies. He was munching on them scabies.
Yeah,
God, that is great.
Barely could afford the good stuff.
That's so funny. My wife and you would get along just fine. That's how she grew up, too.
Yeah.
Once you're an adult, you can appreciate the bag cereal, though.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Oh.
For sure.
There were paychecks that I had to buy bag cereal for my kids. There were times,
I just like dry cereal still. Like sometimes I'll get cereal and I'll just eat dry cereal. I won't even put it on milk. It's like a good snack for some reason.
You're going to really enjoy when your girlfriend goes through menopause.
You are clearly a psycho. Like who?
No one likes dry cereal?
No.
Oh, man. I can destroy some like just dry Captain Crunch or any of that. I don't know why.
That is odd. That is so odd.
I'm just upset that everyone just glazed over my dry vagina joke and no.
I didn't get the dry vagina part. I was like,
Gotcha.
I don't know. Do
With
postmenopause women like cereal that's dry?
They stop secreting.
Yeah,
it's rough. You got to keep the lube right at the nightstand.
Wow, we are learning so much. Okay.
So listen, I don't know if
are you ready to run yet?
Engaged.
Okay.
But I got a girl 10 years younger, so
so you and Brett should get along just fine.
I'll be broken way before long. She's broken.
Yeah, I'll be dead at that point.
So you're going to be sitting. So at some point, you're going to be sitting in a corner, allowing her to do whatever while you watch.
You'll go out like Dave,
since you can't perform.
Is that what it is? Yeah,
I don't know. That's what I've heard. I haven't gotten there yet.
Oh, okay.
That's what my wife keeps telling me. You know, everyone's got those lists, right? Like the people they're allowed to sleep with and stuff, right? The special list.
But it sounds a bit weird if she's saying, "Hey, you go sit over there. I'm going to be over here."
Here's the interesting thing. Her list. I mean, it's mostly like rock people, like people that you play on the Blitz.
Right.
My list is 5 of my neighbors that she's going to let me sit in the corner and watch. I don't understand. How does that work?
That's a bit different.
How does that work?
I mean, she can't get mad if that's your list.
Never divulge your list.
It was the list she gave to me.
It makes watching movies.
Oh, she gave me my list.
Yeah,
okay, gotcha.
It's the.
So this Weller antique over here, let me tell you.
All right, let's. Anyone getting cinnamon? I get cinnamon.
Well, I was going to say that, and I don't mean this as an insult, but basically, it's a much nicer Fireball.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's a good.
I
like
what
that.
I taste Fireball in there.
He's getting a little bit of JD in him. It's good.
That's my golf course drink, actually. Fireball.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I drink Fireball on the golf course.
But that's interesting. You're tying some things together that a lot of people would call. This is getting natural cinnamon just for whatever reason. Mm-hmm. Which is interesting because makers at 101 will kind of get a little bit of cinnamon flavor too.
That's like vanilla
and it's
cinnamon
weeded as well.
Me.
Speaking of, our car girl from Tartan was asking me questions about like bourbon for her boyfriend and stuff.
Speaking of what? That has nothing to do with what we were talking about.
Who was making my
transfusions?
Speaking of nothing we were talking about, did you?
I think he meant Fireballs where that was, and then it just.
I said golf course.
Worst transition ever.
It morphed.
I mean, something morphed.
I mean, you can fully taste the sugar in like a shot of Fireball, but this has less sugar. This
is a natural flavor,
right.
0 macronutrients versus Fireball, which is probably like 20 grams of sugar.
Just a liqueur.
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly. All right. So, what do you think of this? Like, what are your thoughts? Being more of a newbie.
Well, I like the Special Reserve more than the one that the antique.
Is that because it's just a little, like you said earlier?
I think probably
smoother,
a little bit lighter. Yeah, a little bit
lighter,
smoother. Yep.
More drinkable, if you will.
Yes.
So
at some point too, and this might even be a good one if you have any left in your glass, put a little drop of water in there, right? Proof it back down.
There's a dropper behind you. It's a little more controlled, I think.
Yep.
maybe proof it back down a little bit to the 90 and see how it tastes, because this might have a little more age on it, but then you proof it back down and it might take some of that cinnamon out of it.
And I think that's a good point. So that was one of the things I was going to talk about, is some of the things and why we're doing this the way we are. Is Weller Special Reserve and Weller Antique are both the same mash bill. The only real difference that is potentially different between them is the proof and, like you said, maybe the age. We think the age is a little bit greater on the Weller Antique. That's what we have been led to believe. So this just gives you, it's a little bit of an exercise of just seeing the exact same distillate going into the barrel, coming out at 90 proof versus maybe a year or two later coming out at 107 proof. So what time can do to a whiskey, what proof can do to a whiskey. It's the exact same distillate. So that, to me, has always been interesting. And a lot of times
Did it change it for you?
Yeah, the drops of water definitely.
It's interesting just even how a couple drops can change something.
It doesn't take a lot.
No, it doesn't. And that's why I sometimes like doing a rocks glass, and then I'll put like one of those big cubes in there, because it won't melt as fast, it won't water it down as much, but it starts to water it down like just a little bit.
Yeah, I agree. But no, that's why I wanted to know why you thought what you thought, because that I think it's what you're saying is 100% on target in the sense that you're newer to bourbon. I think that those lower proof entries are a lot of times a lot more appealing to people that are newer to the whiskey industry, to the whiskey, whatever, the whiskey game, just because it's less offensive. It's, as you would say, smoother, and it's, more drinkable. A lot of people, when they're first getting into whiskey, they'll join it up with something like ginger ale or mix it with ice or a big cube or something like that. Now, the one thing I will say about ice, even though it does melt slowly, adds a little bit of water to it, I feel like coldness sometimes mutes the flavors. So that will also...
Oh, as opposed to like a room temperature.
Yeah, it'll also bring
room temperature
down,
ice cube. Yeah.
Yeah. Well.
Yes, room temperature ice cube.
It'll bring down that temperature of the bourbon, which then I think also lessens the harshness of it, because I think it mutes some of the flavors.
Now you said this was a 105 proof.
107.
107.
Yeah.
Antique 107. That makes sense. Okay. So how high? Because most people, like I have a bar at home filled with your Norms, your Tito's, your Captain, your Jacks, and they're all sitting at like your
80 to 90.
Your 40, 45% alcohol or whatever. So when you're sipping on a whiskey, how high do they go? I mean, you get like Everclear levels?
Well, not that high, no, because you'll lose all flavor. But what you will get, so there's some rules for making bourbon. To be bottled, it has to be bottled at least 80 proof.
Okay.
So it has to be at least 80 proof. If it's under 80 proof, it's not really bourbon. It's something else.
Well, then you get into the liqueur
Fireball
type stuff,
or liqueur or something like that. So that's one of the rules of bourbon. The other rule of bourbon is it cannot be entered into the barrel. So the distillate going into the barrel can't be more than 125 proof.
Okay.
Now, you put it on a top shelf of a rick house, like the 5th or 6th or 7th floor or whatever they might have. I think Jim Beam has some 9th floor ones left, right? Where it's super hot, the water evaporates.
Okay.
The proof goes up.
Yeah.
And so they have some that are considered hazmat, which are anything over, I think, 140 proof.
Yeah.
So they're labeled literally hazmat. Yeah, because they can potentially be explosive at that point. So sometimes you'll get some stuff that is, and we just did a hazmat tasting at Nulu with James and Bourbon Enthusiast.
Yep.
That was insane. So, like, to be able to actually get something that's hazmat, 140 proof, and still get flavor out of it is very impressive.
I still like the Cream Daddy better.
Yeah, no, I did too. That was what, 100?
I like you too.
Hey-o. What was that? 130?
130.3 or 30.2.
So I mean, you'll see pretty common is anywhere from that 120 to 135 range.
Okay.
That's pretty common for a lot of like Elijah Craig's and a lot of barrel strength stuff that is out there today. That being said, a lot of it depends on what they put it into the barrel.
Okay. Yeah.
And then how it's then ricked at what level of the rick. So like if it's put at a lower, like the first floor of a rick house,
Kept cooler.
you'll actually evaporate the bourbon and not
Instead
the
of water.
And so then the proof will go down.
Have you gotten to the hazmat level yet with the description?
What do you mean?
Have you talked about 140 and up being hazmat?
Where the fuck have you been?
Are you serious right now, Tyler?
No, I want to transition.
That was
into
like the last
something.
5 minutes of our conversation.
No, I was listening, but I didn't hear you say specifically hazmat. My mind was thinking about people in distilleries they've learned how to manipulate the barrels now and how to get it to that point. Whereas back in the day, or back 5-10 years ago, those 140 proofs were far and few.
Just mistakes almost.
Yes.
Well, and the reason for a lot of that is the mindset was, for example, Buffalo Trace. Have you ever heard of benchmark bourbon?
No.
Okay, so that's a lower shelf bourbon. It became kind of popular for a minute, in probably 5 years ago, and so they started coming out with benchmark single barrel, benchmark bottled and bond, benchmark foolproof, benchmark. There was one other one. There were 4, and so what happens with benchmark is it's not aged very long because it's up in those high. It's kind of almost like the equivalent of a Texas whiskey in the sense that it's hotter at the top of the rickhouse, right?
Mm-hmm. Of course.
And it's a self-contained heat. So yes, the elements do cool the rickhouse down, but those top levels are still pretty much always aging. Mm-hmm. So aging in the rickhouse, I think, stops below, like the interaction with the wood, they say stops, and I'm using air quotes, I think below 40 degrees. I think that's right. So anytime the temperature outside or the temperature in the rickhouse is below 40 degrees, I think that aging process stops. But at the top of the rickhouse, even when it's in Kentucky and it's freezing outside, I think you're probably still above 40 degrees. Mm-hmm. So that top level of the rickhouse just continuously ages. So, and what JD's saying over there is that hazmat stuff didn't happen a lot because they would use that. Who's the guy from Heaven Hill? Lubbers?
Bernie Lubbers. Yep.
He talked a lot about how Heaven Hill would do their batching. They would specifically take younger stuff from the top floors because it would go up in proof, mix it with stuff from the bottom floors, and then they would end up with a product that had very good balance. So a lot of wood notes from the top floors, a lot of like sweeter and vanilla caramel notes from the bottom floors, and then also add in some stuff from the middle, and that's how they would batch a lot of their
balance,
stuff.
Yeah.
So what started happening with the single barrel, phase, everyone's really into single barrels right now, because they offer similar taste profiles to whatever they're making, but have a little bit of derivations or whatever you want to call it, variants, here and there.
I think they offer more complexity to them
Sometimes. But also just different flavors that you wouldn't normally get. Mm-hmm. You have that base flavor profile that's always there because of the mash bill, but then you get some variants out there, like you might get some like weird notes of something, clove or something that isn't normally in the barrel. But in a single barrel, they haven't batched it to go with 5 other things to make it have that normal profile, and you'll get some surprises.
Something unique. Yeah,
it's something super unique. And so what they've started figuring out is a lot of times with those single barrel top floor rickhouse things, they get up to around 140, 100 and whatever proof. They'll become hazmat, and they still have some really good flavors.
I love that they call it hazmat.
Yeah,
because you can't fly with it.
It is technically considered hazmat.
It's 70% alcohol
Hazard,
by volume.
hazardous
Yeah.
material. Yeah.
70 plus.
So,
Okay.
all right.
What was our Old Forester pick? Floor 8, Warehouse I. What was the
It
proof
was
on that
Warehouse
one?
I for sure. It was 130 something.
Yeah, it was 130 something.
Like
I think
low
I
130s.
think Barb said it was going to be over 136 at the time of bottling.
But it was delicious. And so when we did that, we did it blind. We don't know anything about it.
You don't know
We're
the
tasting
proof,
it
you don't know
blind.
the age, you don't know any
And
of
so
it.
it was the best one, even being that high proof. So it's amazing how those flavors can mask that alcohol.
Alcohol taste.
We
Yeah.
had a
It really is.
K8, which I covet, Warehouse K.
Yeah.
I love K.
So you'll start to see
Every kiss begins with K.
Jesus. So you'll start to see like
But I went to Jared.
at different distilleries like Wild Turkey, they'll have certain rick houses that people are like clamoring over.
And they like a different rick house
like-
over another rick house.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like Tyrone
K is one of my favorites at
Tyrone
Wild
K
Turkey.
is a big one. Like there's
Camp
Camp Nelson,
Nelson F.
any of the Camp Nelsons. I mean,
Any
but but people will look for bottles, single barrels from those particular rick houses.
And they put them on the labels?
Yeah, they do now, especially because they know people are like
look for 'em.
all the fanboys. Basically, it's like the Taylor Swift, fan people.
Bourbon. Yeah,
exactly.
Oh,
So-
the CNF.
Before we go any further, we've got Maker's Mark in the glass now.
This
So
nose is beautiful.
Yeah, so it's Shelfer Maker's Mark. This is your
just-
traditional, everyday Maker's Mark.
Werther's
Nothing
Carrot.
fancy.
take a nose of this and tell me what you think of this. The one thing I love about Maker's Mark, very sweet. Like and this is why a lot of people's introduction to whiskey neat or bourbon neat is a lot of times Maker's Mark.
Well, I have a horror story about Maker's Mark from some years ago. My best friend and I throw an annual lake party every year. He's got a lake house out in Indiana.
Did you say a horror story?
Horror, not
horror?
horror,
Not
a horror.
Not horror. No,
There may have
no.
been horrors.
Well, my ex was there, but
Ding!
So we so we get together once a year. We throw this annual lake party that we call Captain and Diet Fest because he used to drink Captain with me. Now I'm the Captain drinker, but we'll have anywhere between 8 to 20 people show up on this particular weekend, and we had a guy show up who brought a whole bottle of that. And so on Saturday morning, we pack up the cooler, we go out on the boat for the day, and it was a hot day. And he's just taking that bottle, and he's taking a can of Diet Coke, and he's just pouring it in the Diet Coke. And then by the time it finished, the Coke was gone. So then he's just pouring,
But he's still just pouring
the
it now
hot Maker's Mark into the can. And it took till about 3 o'clock, but man, did he paint the side of the boat.
Yeah, my stomach turned a little bit as you said that.
Yep,
I'm
and
just
then-
like hot.
Did you paint
So
your
you
shorts?
said
I did not paint my shorts. No. That
Did
was a
you
totally
have
different
any of
time.
it too, or was it
I
just
think I
him?
had a sip, but we found him. We lost him, and then we found him on the side of the
you were on
house.
a boat?
You were on a boat.
Well,
How
no,
did you lose him?
by the time we got back to the house,
Okay. I was like,
we
wait a
lost
second.
him.
He's like
This must
bobbing
have
in the
been
water in a
Yeah.
This was
vest.
a big boat.
and then we found him passed
That's
out,
what she said.
passed out on the side of the house.
That
But,
is awesome.
Yeah, he was just covered in Maker's Mark vomit.
So I've got one thing to say, and then I'm going to tee you up for a story. Okay, so that's an awesome story. First off, secondly, when you're taking the Maker's Mark and you're pouring it into a can, that's a pro move right there. That's 100.
Is it?
Yes, 100% a pro move. Like that guy, is he in the 12-step program yet?
I wouldn't be surprised.
Okay, but you're not
That's
sure.
much lighter.
Yeah. Well, we
That's
dropped
much lighter than
down
the Weller.
on proof a lot. What is this
Back
one?
to 90.
90.
Okay.
So we're back down to where the Weller Special Reserve is.
It's really good, really approachable.
So I have heard we have a segment on this show that we introduce every so often called Short Stories. I've heard that you have an amazing short story to tell.
Okay, sure. But here's the thing, though.
Okay, tee it up however you want.
It is not a short story. It is a poop your pants story.
Well, that's generally what our short stories really end up being.
But I'm not done yet because there's two things. There's shitting your pants.
Yes.
And then there's pooping your pants. And
Oh.
those are two completely
They
different
are.
things.
They are. Pooping, I feel like, is a turd. Shitting could be a full blowout.
Correct.
Are we on the same page?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely, 100%.
Okay.
Because I shat myself one time on the way to my other morning show when I was working in South Bend, Indiana, driving to work with my arm on the center console.
So hold on. So we're first thing in the morning.
Oh yes, this is
So you haven't
5,
even-
This is 5 a.m. And this isn't even the real story that I'm going to tell. This
okay.
is the shit my pants story, not my poop my pants story.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I want to just clarify, because like shitting your pants first thing in the morning, I feel like is more of an accomplishment than doing it after drinking Maker's Mark on a boat.
Right.
in a can of-
No, this was obviously. I don't know if I had too much spaghetti the night before or something, but I'm driving to work and I'm about 10 minutes away, and you can feel it.
The liquefying
pain,
rumble.
That's the
pain.
spicy meatball.
Oh yeah.
So what I always say, the liquefying gurgle. You know that you're on the clock now.
Yeah.
Like there's like a.
Were you in
Yeah,
a Chevy?
It was hot. What's that?
Were you riding in a Chevy?
I was not riding in a Chevy. No.
When you feel something heavy?
My God.
I wasn't
Diarrhea.
crossing third.
I got
Yeah,
you.
I wasn't rounding
I
third
got what
with
you
a
were
juicy
doing.
third. Yeah. But no, so I'm driving to work. I got my arm in the center console where I'm pushing myself up so I can clench my butt tighter.
Basically standing.
Yes,
in
exactly.
the car. You're standing.
And I get to the station and I'm running in and I make it to the bathroom. but I wasn't wearing a normal like loop belt. I was wearing one of the latch belts, and and then boog up. Thankfully, I was wearing boxer briefs, so it was kind of like a water balloon. Just went pink and just filled up.
Caught it all.
Yeah, caught it all.
Oh God, you're lucky.
And the worst part about that story was having to go tell my morning show co-host, "Hey, real quick, I don't know how to tell you this, but I have to go home." Because we were at this point, we were 15 minutes away from the show starting.
Yeah.
By the time I had gotten everything off the back of my thighs, and
How
all
far
cleaned
away
up,
was home?
like 10 minutes.
Okay,
yeah,
so you were probably
that's
another
30 minutes
15
round trip.
minutes,
Yes,
20
correct.
minutes
Yeah.
late.
But I
to-
said I don't know how to tell you this, but I just shit my pants.
Did
and
he?
I have
Did he
to-
have a good
Oh,
time
no, it was a
starting the
she.
show?
It was a
Or
she.
did she have a
Yeah.
good time starting the show without you?
I don't know. I don't
Probably
know.
thought you
never-
were lying. That's a shitty way to
get out of it,
to get
yeah.
out of work.
No, but he was already there. If he called in, I would see that maybe being a thought.
Right.
But he had already come there, had to leave, and come back.
Come back,
So
yeah.
she's got to believe it. There's no lying.
Yeah,
on
what
that.
would I lie about to leave for 30 minutes?
Yeah.
Unless you were like setting her up
And
for
if
like
I'm
a
going to make
skit.
up an excuse, it's not going to be I'm going to tell you eye to eye that I just shit my pants.
Right, you would have a
Nuts.
dentist appointment. You would have a
Correct.
At 5 a.m. a dentist
right,
appointment.
whatever.
Yes.
Hey, there's 5 a.m. dentists.
Yes.
They work out of a van, but
I was gonna say,
there's 5 a.m.
They come
dentists.
with a happy ending.
But the
I don't know what kind of dentist you go to, but
A good one.
Oh, they
I
do.
want,
A
I,
good
want, I want his card.
Take out them dentures.
Sorry, I want her card.
you did say him.
I'm not here to
You
judge.
did say him.
I did.
Yeah.
That was bad. That was bad.
Freudian slip. It's okay. We don't judge.
That's fair.
But
Fair
no,
enough.
the actual the poop your pants story was we were on a triple date. There were three of us that went on a triple date, and we all went for hibachi. And so
yes.
it was, I don't know, it's someone's birthday maybe, I can't remember, but three couples, we all went out and we're having cocktails and Mai Tais, and they're setting the onion volcano on fire, and
Of course.
I'm catching shrimp in my mouth, the whole thing.
He's catching it in his hat.
Yep,
Yeah,
absolutely,
yeah,
the whole shebang, and I had a
Spinning the
great
egg.
time. And so dinner's over, and we go to leave, and I can't remember why, but we decided the three guys were going to go in one car, and the three girls were going to go in the other car back to the house.
Game planning.
Yeah, I guess that would have been the best way to do it, because otherwise it would have been like one couple by themselves or
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah,
whatever.
fair.
So
No,
three
that
guys,
makes
three girls.
sense. Yeah.
And on the way back, the driver of our car decided to roll up the windows. And if you don't know, some hibachi restaurants will include bean sprouts at the end of the meal.
Yes,
And,
I
which I
usually-
love.
I usually forego those.
I
I
like
love
the
them.
bean sprouts.
Yeah, I love
the
them.
bean sprouts.
Yes.
They're
I
like
love
the Japanese French fries, as they say.
You're right. Yeah. And so he decided to not only roll up the windows, put the child locks on,
And shit his pants.
No, he's ripping ass.
Yeah,
he's
sure.
ripping
Hotboxing
ass.
you.
Yes.
Yeah, no, fair.
And hibachi farts are not something to mess with.
They're not.
They're pretty bad.
They're hazmat.
They're hazmat. Yes. And so we get home and we're there for about 15 minutes. And I look over. And he's sitting in a chair, much like JD is, just a little recliner type one-seater chair. And we were just hanging out. I think he had a magazine in his hand. And I was off to the side, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna get this son of a bitch. I'm gonna right in his face. he earned this one. So I get up. I'm over here, and I sneak up by the side, and I gave him a jump turn. I came up and I went, ha! And I prink. The problem is
He was touching cotton.
the problem is one big log just came out. It was like a torpedo out of a submarine.
The jump probably accelerated.
Yeah, it did something. And
Gravity.
and it just came out. It was like bink, and it was like I had a unicorn in my back pocket. It was just straight out. It was a reverse boner, is what I had. The jeans were just
my god!
jeans were
Jeans
sticky.
even.
Jeans.
I
oh,
was
yeah.
thinking like sweatpants, something more.
No.
Stretch material.
No. That's how much of a log this was. It could move denim.
90s jeans, I hope, a little baggy.
It was, yeah.
I see
helps.
I see the quote now. It could move denim.
They could move denim.
Yeah.
Okay.
But then the problem was,
Sounds like a barrel pick.
as it
Yeah.
happened, and I jumped, and I felt the jeans stretch out, I went, uh-oh. And I had to go running down the hallway, but when I stood up, It fell, and then it went on like the corkscrew at Cedar Point. As I'm running, it's wrapping around my leg all the way down. Yeah, it's on.
So you're talking now. Were you at your house?
No.
Oh,
no.
so you're now talking Porky Pig, Donald Duck, whatever. You're pantsless for the rest of the evening. You had to shower, clean off your leg, I assume. If you were planning on getting any action that evening, you had to Porky Pig it or Donald Duck it.
Well, thankfully, I did get they had an extra pair of basketball shorts. So I
did they ask why you had different clothes on when they got home?
Who?
The ladies.
Oh no, they were there. This was all 6 of us hanging out.
Did they know that it happened?
Oh, absolutely. 100%.
How far into the relationship were you with this?
I was into it. Yeah.
Okay. So she just thought it was funny.
Oh,
probably.
absolutely.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
good.
We
So
all,
it didn't prevent any.
There was still a
relations that evening.
No, not at all.
Oh, that is awesome. That's a great story.
Not at all. In fact, I think she said save some for me. But
When he told
she was German. What are you going to do?
Well, that's true. A lot of sausage. A lot of
when
sausage.
Goose told that story, we're on hole 14 in the fairway.
Why are you standing up all of a sudden?
He's excited. Let him stand.
Are you about to do the same thing to him?
No.
Okay.
And we're waiting for the green to clear. Peter, our pro's up kind of watching. Peter's over here, and Mitchell's out there.
People can't
And
see what you're pointing to.
No.
They can imagine.
There's cameras.
Behind and front, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
The teleprompter's
So
behind
Peter's
you.
behind me. Goose is on my right. And then Mitchell's up ahead of us in the fairway watching the green. I got a 4-iron in my hand from 215.
How does he remember all this stuff?
Steel trap memories.
I can talk about golf tournaments from a long time ago.
And then mix in like 10 dad
shot
jokes
by
as
shot,
you go?
Shot by
Okay,
shot,
fair
where
enough.
I was.
Fair enough.
He tells that story, and I'm dead. Now it's my turn to hit. I haven't chunked a shot that bad in 20 years.
Well played. Well played.
Peter's sitting there, our golf pro. He's just like, can't come back from that.
Well played.
Hey.
You didn't need to stand to tell that story.
That's
I'm
strategy.
just telling you in hindsight,
Yeah.
you could have told that from your throne.
Yeah,
I'm glad that you stood.
Yeah, me too.
I
Like-
appreciate your enthusiasm,
But you know what?
your
The
energy.
listeners are not going to get anything from that.
I appreciated it, though.
No,
that's
fair.
all that matters.
That's fair. Your pillow moved. All right.
But I'm glad that I told the story that made you shake a shot.
Dude,
I'm glad you did as well.
Yes.
Because that is awesome. I've never been able to shake him on the golf course. That's awesome.
I hit that 4-iron 20 yards. I almost missed it.
That's great.
That'd have been good.
You want to introduce our last one?
So
Might be our last one.
this
is my last
we
one.
might give him a we were thinking about giving. Have you had the Augusta? You did, right?
I did.
Last week.
Yeah.
Okay.
Something like premium, like you're never gonna.
I mean, I won't
find.
turn down another Augusta if you're offering it.
I think
I like the
we're going to
Masters
open
at
up
Augusta.
into that. Yeah.
Is that Augusta as in the golf course?
No.
So
okay.
there's we have an Augusta single barrel that's sitting in the back room there that is what they call buff turkey. It is a
Turkey really strong.
wild turkey.
Right.
So it's wild turkey distillate or mash bill, I should say.
What is going on with this bottle?
It's touch and wax.
Yeah, you're just
There we go.
it's
That's not enough.
no, you need a little more.
Okay.
There you go.
You want me to pour it?
You don't have very far.
No, I'm good. I'm fine.
You don't have very far to go.
That's true.
So wild turkey has a particular mash bill, Buffalo Trace, and mash bill. I don't know.
I have had wild turkey before.
So mash bill is basically like the percentages of your corn to
Grains.
to wheat to
Okay.
whatever, or rye or whatever it is, and then your yeast strain makes up part of the mash bill. So wild turkey had Buffalo Trace make them some of their mash bill. So it's not Buffalo Trace's mash bill, but it was Buffalo Trace's yeast strain, from what I understand.
And
So-
aged at Buffalo Trace.
And I
And their own grains.
Wasn't it?
I maybe.
Okay.
I don't know if it was or wasn't.
I think
actually.
it was aged at Wild Turkey.
That's what
my
I,
mistake,
That's what
my
I thought
mistake.
too. So Buffalo Trace made Wild Turkey's mash bill for them. I believe it was aged at Wild Turkey. They start tasting and they're like, "Yeah, this doesn't taste anything like our stuff." So they start selling off the barrels. Well, Augusta was one of the places that got some of their barrels, and I don't know why they didn't just keep it and make some special release, because my God, it is outstanding.
Oh,
It doesn't taste like Wild Turkey. It doesn't taste like Buffalo Trace, but it tastes like phenomenal whiskey.
But
Okay.
the allure is it's Buffalo Trace aged in a Wild Turkey barrel.
Well, it's Wild Turkey mash bill with the Buffalo Trace yeast strain aged in a Wild Turkey barrel.
Okay.
So they call it Buff Turkey. Buffalo Trace,
Okay.
raw turkey, buff turkey.
I would say my greatest shot of whiskey would have been when Luke Combs, country artist Luke Combs, was up and coming, and I was working country radio at the time in Denver. He came through oh my God, what is the honky tonk called? It is called
In Denver?
Yeah.
Love Luke Combs, by the way.
Oh my God.
I'm a big fan of that new song, Where the Wild Things Are.
That's not new. That's like
song's
2
like
years
4
old.
years old.
Yeah.
It's new to me.
But anyways, he
Fair
he
enough.
was still doing this is an 800 person, 900 person honky tonk venue.
Yeah.
And we were hanging out on his tour bus backstage, and he was gifted the Jack Daniel's Frank Sinatra
That's a good
barrel.
that's a good-
Yeah, we had
it's a good one.
We had a good little shot
Age
of
that
that
in
one.
like sliced staves.
Have you been to the new honky tonk in Vegas? I think it's called like the Red Dog or something. Red something. It's
Old Red. I mean, Old Red is Blake Shelton's.
yes, that's it.
Okay, Old Red, yeah.
That's a pretty cool little
Yeah,
place.
I mean, they have one in Nashville. That's his original one.
Yeah. The
we
one in
have-
Vegas was cool. Like the very top floor was like dancey vibe,
Yep.
and then the other ones are like you're looking down on the stage. Really cool little venue.
Yeah, it is a great
For
place.
Vegas,
Yes.
like it surprised the shit out of me how nice it was. My wife and I went there 2 or 3 times last time we were in Vegas and just hung out there.
Yeah,
It was
very
fun.
cool place.
Yeah, it's a fun place.
The honky tonk, but donka donk.
I love. Is
Grizzly
Nashville
Rose. Grizzly Rose is the name of the honky tonk in Denver.
okay?
Yeah.
So Nashville. Does everyone like Nashville?
Yeah.
Tootsie's.
I like Nashville.
I love
Yeah.
Tootsie's.
Well,
Nashville.
Tootsie's is
Good
awesome.
place, yeah.
Tootsie's is like an old school, great place to go. That's where we usually start our evening.
I love the
is
old
Tootsie's.
vinyl record store there too.
Oh, yeah.
The one.
Yep.
Yeah,
The one they have.
The
yes.
one.
The one.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. So we've got. This is our barrel pick. It is called Vanilla Espresso. Making fun of how Michiganders say the word espresso.
Because there's a big X in the word.
Apparently, there is in Michigan.
I say espresso.
So
I would
if-
say most people say espresso. They're like,
Just-
can I get a vodka espresso?
espresso. So just for people who are not familiar with how the private selects work for Maker's Mark, the way they work is Maker's Mark batches. They famously batch their bourbon. They have in their general population of bourbon that you can buy off the shelf, they have 2 versions. They have Maker's Mark and then they have Maker's Mark cask strength. Now, they've included a couple of other things. They have Maker's Mark 101, which is their batched bourbon at 101 proof. So they take the barrel strength and they proof it down to 101. They also have Maker's Mark 46 and Maker's Mark 46 cask strength. Maker's Mark 46 is basically taking the Maker's Mark that we know today at cask strength, and then they put in additional staves, the Maker's 46 staves, and they age it for another, I think it's 4 to 6 weeks or something like that.
They're French oak.
But it's Maker's 46
Yes.
staves. That's what they call them. And so then that it becomes your Maker's 46 cask and Maker's 46 standard. Then when all this single barrel thing kind of blew up and everyone just like totally was going after single barrels, Makers decided to do a private select where they allowed people to select their own staves. It's almost like choosing your own recipe in a way. And so we've talked about this a lot on the podcast, but they let you choose your staves, and
It's
they
like
let
going to Chipotle and working down the line and picking what you want.
or
Oh,
like
yeah.
Mongolian barbecue or something
yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah. So, and so what you end up with is a very, very unique. It's not a single barrel because they've still batched it. It's a batch product until they add those staves in, and then it's single barreled from there. So it's batched up to the point where they put the staves in. You choose the staves, and
So
then
you picked 3 baked American Pure 2,
Yep.
2 seared French Sous-Vide,
Yep.
1 Maker's Mark 46, and 4 roasted French
Mondiant.
Mondiant, and 0 toasted French spice.
Correct.
Okay.
So take a little sniff of this and tell us what it smells like to you. I don't want to lead you. Obviously, there's a name to it.
You might just smell.
I'm definitely getting vanilla.
Yeah, vanilla comes through, I think, very heavy,
Yeah.
which
It
that's the
does.
first word.
Absolutely. Oh, idiot. That's stupid.
Honestly,
do I smell some espresso
Do you
in
know
there
what I
too?
love, though? I love that you didn't, like, even catch on that, and you're like, I smell a lot of vanilla on this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, shit, maybe we did something right.
What bottle number is this one?
23, I think.
It's your Michael Jordan.
My Michael Jordan bottle. Okay. The nice thing about being the barrel selector is I get to choose which bottles I wanted. So my first bottle that I picked was bottle 187. And I did that because I knew I would kill it quickly. And I wanted to be able to post a bottle kill of bottle 187. So I thought that'd be pretty cool. So that's going to be going on Instagram here soon.
Don't you have bottle number 1 as well?
I do. I have bottle
And
1.
246.
I have 246, which was the last bottle. There were 246 bottles.
Okay.
So I have 1, 246, 23, 169.
Yeah. That was a Peter Griffin laugh for sure.
I love the satellite delay.
No, wait,
over there from
23.
Goose.
You said you named off 4 numbers, but you've got quite a few bottles. So you don't own 1 through 246.
Oh, he does.
I mean,
You do.
I technically do because we didn't sell 246 of them.
Gotcha.
I own all those over there.
But these are ones you're selling from your own.
We're not
Recipe.
selling. We're not selling. That's not legal. So,
Right. You're handing out to friends who want to try it. Your mix.
Yes, 100%.
Gotcha.
We're letting them try and hoping to get them to join our barrel club.
Okay.
So that we buy them all together as a single entity
Oh, okay.
and hand them
Makes
out.
sense. Makes sense.
So,
All right. Let's try your personal recipe.
so JD, Brett, myself, and Tyler were on this pick. Not to lead you, I get a lot of espresso, tiramisu-y type kind of.
Tiramisu for me, for
Yeah,
sure.
tiramisu is like if it weren't for Tyler saying espresso, we would have probably called this vanilla tiramisu.
Yeah.
In my opinion, I get a super tiramisu vibe on this.
Now, why did you pick this combination, this recipe?
We just liked it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, if you wanted to, there's what did they say, 10,000 options.
1001.
1,001 options with the number of staves. There's 10 staves.
5.
And there's five staves to choose from. 10 staves get added into the barrel. So from that combination of 5 different staves, so you could do 2,
Right.
2, you know what I
Yep.
mean? It adds up to 10. So you get 10 total staves in there, but there's only 5 variants of those staves that you can choose from. Any number you want. You could do 10 of one if you want.
Right.
If you wanted to try 1,000, you'd be dead by the time you're done. So you kind of have to. They push you at least in a direction if you tell them what you're kind of looking for, and then you kind of just go from there. We were not dead, but we were
Having a good time.
having a good time by the time we were finished. We tried a lot.
You tried a lot to find the combination you wanted.
Yes. And it's like a chemistry experiment. You're mixing the different variations.
Mm-hmm.
And here's the thing. So you mix it, you get an idea of what flavor combination you found, but that is not necessarily what you're going to end up with in the barrel, because it has to then go off and sit for 4 to 8 weeks or whatever. Squirrel.
Were you okay?
And he's becoming more and more Tyler.
I'm like Chris
every episode.
Pratt. When like long wind happens, I kind of like look around.
Long wind. That'll catch your attention.
That's my Indian name. Longwind.
Long wind.
That's jackass.
Mine would be short attention.
Goose was long brown.
Was long brown. It was
Stretch
long brown.
denim is what it was called.
Oh, stretch denim.
Yeah.
That's a stage name, stretch denim.
Stretch denim.
That could go in 2 different
Yeah, I
directions.
know.
Literally.
And you leave it up for
Literally.
interpretation. That's what's best about it.
Right. Leave it
that's
open.
terrible.
That's right.
Oh, shit. Anyway, so we called it vanilla espresso to make fun of Tyler. I totally lead with tiramisu when I talk about this, because I really think this has a coffee-forward flavor profile to me that leans towards like a tiramisu or something like that.
With lady fingers.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hi, Clyde.
Clyde, you're getting closer to Banks, buddy. You're getting closer. What do you think of this?
That good. It's got a little more
Bite to it.
bite. That's
Little
exactly
higher
what I was going to
proof.
say.
Little
Bite.
higher
Yep, that's
proof.
exactly
What
it
is it, 112 proof?
Yep.
So this is 112 proof. We're up,
Yes.
what, 22 proof points from the last one you just had?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's a good point. So that's pretty
Yep.
significant, right?
Yeah.
I think it's like sweeter, smoother on the front end. When you're starting to drink it, you can smell it. You can smell the vanilla, the tiramisu.
Yeah.
And then once you drink it on the back end,
You get a little bit of
you
that
can feel
ethanol.
the bite. Yep.
Yeah, you get a little
can
of
feel
that
the
ethanol.
bite.
And maybe you don't catch them on your own ahead of time, but you're recognizing when we say tiramisu or espresso or whatever.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
I said, did you hear me say it?
I heard the accent there.
Espresso. Yes.
I said it on purpose.
Yep.
Is that a Clippers hat?
Cleveland.
Oh,
It's
Same
an old
thing.
one that still says Indians on the back. You're correct. It's the same thing.
yeah. I saw the C, didn't see the Indians on the back.
Yeah. I'm going to a game in Boston to watch the Red Sox and the Guardians or Indians, whatever you would like to call
At
them.
Fenway.
Who are the Guardians?
Exactly. Early September. So we're going on a Boston trip. Don't mean to segue. But I've never been to Fenway Park. It's an iconic stadium.
Amazing.
So I'm really excited to go to
You're gonna have a
Fenway
good
Park
time.
and watch,
It's old school. You're not going to have the, accoutrements of like
okay.
The modern
Great
day
American Ball,
features.
That's
or like
okay.
Jacobs Field. and
I'm
all
going to get a
those, but-
fucking hot dog. I'm going to get
Yeah,
some
that's
shitty
all you
beer.
need.
That's all I need, man.
Some
Are you going to
Jacks,
do the
maybe?
9 and 9 challenge? The 9-9-9
Fuck
challenge?
no. The 9 hot dogs
Oh,
and
come
9
on.
beers.
Nine beers and
I
9
just-
innings?
That's easy.
I think I might have a brown or a denim stretch.
the hot dogs I could do
a
in the
denim
first
stretch
inning.
story.
You could down 9 hot dogs.
In the first inning, easy.
He
No
likes
problem.
He likes his wiener.
Yeah, I don't know if I could do that.
Well, I mean, maybe not with the pitch count,
Yeah.
but maybe 2 innings now. I could easily down 9 hot dogs in 2 innings and then start to just kind of
I'm a big peanut
absorb-
guy when I go
absorb-
there. And I
Oh.
fucking make a mess with peanuts. They're fucking shells everywhere.
So we went to the Ohio State softball thing,
Yeah.
the charity softball Cardale Jones thing, and I bought a bag of peanuts.
You have to.
Yeah, hot dogs, peanuts.
Absolutely.
The only thing I don't do is the
Babe
beer.
Ruth diet.
So
die.
yeah, and I'm sitting there plowing through these peanuts. There's a mess in front of me. Trina's like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
What'd you do?
Trina's my wife, by the way.
Okay.
So they're like, she's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm eating. I love peanuts at
yeah.
a baseball game." And it's just one of those things. You just sit there and you just
Pop them.
break one open,
Yeah.
break one
Yep.
open, break one open, and you just it's a mindless thing
Yeah,
that you just do
absolutely.
the entire game. And I went through probably 2/3 of the bag by myself.
It's great too. Like I know you're not a beer drinker, but like you get some beer, some
No, the-
salty peanuts.
No,
it goes
salty
together.
peanuts and beer,
Oh,
perfect
yeah,
together.
it's great.
100%.
I'm so excited.
Piss beer.
Yeah.
For me,
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
it's got to be piss beer. You don't drink IPAs at a damn baseball game. You drink piss beer.
PBRs.
You have some hot dogs.
It's a blue ribbon
Yeah.
award,
Yeah.
winner.
They
Like,
don't get
come
that
on.
blue ribbon out to everyone.
Yeah.
So it's piss beer, it's salty peanuts, and it's hot dogs.
Lips and assholes.
Lips and
Absolutely.
assholes.
They're delicious.
Lips and assholes.
Have you visited, you say you're going to Fenway for the first time. Have you
Yes.
visited a lot of ballparks?
Not a ton. Obviously, I've been to Guardians, Indians, whatever. I've been there. I've been to Cincinnati's stadium several times.
Okay.
I'm from Southern Ohio, so
Clipper Stadium.
Clipper Stadium. Well, I
Yeah.
mean that's not. I know
No,
it's
but that's
minor
but
league.
that's
Comerica Park yet?
No.
Oh, okay.
That's a treat.
But you know, Clipper
Cool
Stadium
park.
is
Clipper
in my-
Stadium is great.
It's major league level in my.
It is.
in
And
my
Huntington
opinion.
Park is an amazing venue for
I've only
anyone
seen
in
the
Columbus.
outside, but I've
go.
heard.
You've never
unbelievable-
been?
No, my fiance
It's
and
outstanding.
boys went. But when I came here, when I moved here a little bit ago, back in February, I went on like a little tour and I saw the outside.
Yeah.
Where you can see through the slots, you can see the
Yeah.
field. It looks unbelievable.
Not a bad
It's-
seat.
It's,
Yeah.
and it's-
Probably have extra tickets for our work thing if you want to go.
Nice.
Might have to
When?
check it out.
September 9th, I think.
this is the first I'm hearing of it.
You guys can come too.
Well, I bring it up because I saw the coolest thing when I was in Denver. When I lived in Denver, we went to a Broncos game, and we were hanging out at one of the bars close to the field, Empower Mile High, whatever name it has now. And there were these group of guys, and they were all wearing like black, like varsity jackets, and they had each jacket had different NFL patches on it on the front and the
Different
back.
stadiums
Yeah,
they
and, so,
visited?
and some had some same, some had different. One guy was wearing a black jacket with no patches on it, and it's this.
So he was a virgin.
He was a prospect.
Yeah.
He was a
He
Hyman.
was a prospect. Yeah.
This is his hymen
And-
pour. That was his hymen pour.
And so this group of guys, they do this thing where
Stadium tours
They
are
do
a big
stadium
thing.
tours,
Yeah, it's a-
and you get a patch for every game you've been to.
That's like the Bourbon Trail, the old
The
passport
passports,
they used to do. Yeah.
But that they had the prospect who had no patches, and you had to be in it a year. And,
Okay.
and they
you had
sent
to be in it a year.
before you could collect patches.
That's interesting.
Yep.
Were they
And-
retired? I assume this is a thing retired people do a lot.
But no, this was a group because there were probably 15 of them there, but there's like 50 of them in the group. So some people can make the
Oh,
trip,
that's
some
cool.
people can't. and if you can go,
That's
you can
fun.
go, and
That's
then
really
you collect
fun.
all the patches.
That's
and the
cool.
prospect has to go pick up all the drinks at the bar.
Of course, like initiate.
Some hazing,
Exactly,
yeah,
yeah.
a little
Yeah, well,
hazing.
I
little
thought it was
hazing.
the coolest
That
idea.
is- that is
to
really
collect
cool.
patches
That's
from all the
really
different
cool.
Things. Yeah.
And I like that. That's you could do that with baseball. You could do that with soccer or football. That's kind of a neat idea. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's cool.
loved it.
Clyde, look at him. I told you he'd be down here by you.
Yeah. He's like, all right, I'll come join the party now.
So before Clyde, I had Banks, and he was a chocolate lab,
Okay.
and he was basically our podcast buddy. When we would come down here, he would just come down here and just lay
Plop
with us.
down.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he would just lay with. He was the most calm. He didn't bark like Clyde does. He would just hang out with the fellas. He was one of the guys, and he was the best dog ever. Like Clyde's good. He just requires a little bit of getting used to. He just was never socialized as a puppy. But like I told you, by the end of the episode, he'd be up
Hanging
to you.
out.
Yeah, and he's fine with you.
We're keeping an eye out. We told the boys when we moved down here that they've been wanting a dog. We said, all right, when we make the move, so we're keeping an eye out. I don't know exactly what we're going to do yet.
If you like labs, there's a place I know of that's in the Westerville area. They're a breeder, but they're not like a super breeder.
They're
So,
not the
right,
Amish
yeah,
that
they're-
are fucking
yeah.
terrible.
Yeah.
Yep.
And they had fresh pups when we went there. He was 6 months old. That's why we grabbed him. We're like, we're going to take him. He's 6 months old.
Yeah.
And like, he needs a home. And he's a great dog. He really is.
Yeah.
He just has some peculiarities that we weren't able to help shape.
We all have our own personalities, though.
and
right?
oh
Like,
my god, all my dogs have a special personality, and he's, I don't want to say short bus special, but he's got some special stuff going on that's just, he's just not he's not super.
Oh, he's doing it.
Yeah, we're
He's
all gonna
doing
do
it. Are we doing this on air or off air?
Yeah, we can do it off air.
Okay.
Let's do it off air. So what do you think? So you're a newbie to bourbon.
Yep.
We kind of took you through it's all weeded tonight.
Mm-hmm.
We took you through some different mash bills between Makers and Weller. And then we took you through some different, just to show you some different proof points, just to show you what these things can do.
Well, I will say I am feeling a conundrum in my tundrum right now. It's warm there
gonna-
for sure.
Yeah.
I would say that the Special Reserve Weller was my favorite of the four.
What about the Makers that you?
The Makers wasn't bad.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. I
just
I
had some
think I
bad
think I have
memories of some-
I think I have just a natural turn off to that
Sure,
just
that's
from
fair.
what I've
That's
seen.
fair.
But I mean, I have a bottle of that sitting in my basement.
It's a
in
standard.
my home bar.
It should
Exactly.
be. It's standard, like eating ass.
Yep. Yes. Exactly. 100%. It was better than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
It wasn't as, and I'm sure there are, and I'm probably because as whiskey drinkers, these are probably some decent. These aren't cheap whiskeys where you could get the burn in the throat and things like that.
Yeah, no, I mean, Makers is a shelfer. You'll always find Makers. The Weller Special Reserve, the Weller Antique are a little bit tougher to find. The Private Select obviously is unique to
Your flavor profile.
yeah, exactly.
It's
but
a unicorn.
Yeah.
in a sense, yeah, to some degree. That's cool. No, that's awesome. So let me ask you this, just to kind of finish out. You're not much of a whiskey drinker. You drink your
Captain
spiced
Morgan,
rum,
yeah,
Captain Morgan.
Spiced.
How
rum.
often do you drink whiskey, and how often have you had it neat like you have tonight?
Neat would be almost never, minus like I said, a shot at the bar or something. Sitting down with a glass.
But that's
and
more
ice
of a slam it,
Yes.
shot type.
Yeah,
of,
I don't think
not a sipping.
I don't think I've ever
Okay.
sat down and sipped on a neat or a rocks.
What do
type
you?
whiskey.
So what do you think after doing that tonight?
I might, if I had myself a pack of cigarettes and a bonfire, I might
Love it.
I might do.
Yeah, no,
I
that's
might
cool.
do
I love it.
a smooth Weller Special Reserve. Yes.
All right.
Yeah,
We'll take
for
it.
There
sure.
you go.
Yep.
All right. Well, thanks for joining in, guys. Hopefully, we brought a newbie in here. Just happened to be a local celebrity of some sort. But we wanted to kind of talk you through that process of tasting some things, drinking some different bourbons and how they would, basically.
There are differences and similarities too.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Same mash bills,
Right.
different, age statements, different proof points, things like that. And just wanted to kind of talk you through that so that if you're listening at home, you can kind of follow through and just see what those different variances or variations might lead up to. So try this stuff at home if you have the chance. It doesn't have to be Weller. It could be Old Forester. It could be anything. Try some things, same mash bill, different proof points. Taste them, compare them. Start doing some of that stuff at home and see what you think. Give us some feedback whenever you get a chance. But thanks for joining in this week, and hopefully you'll join us in for next week when who knows what we do.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Goose, you're welcome back anytime.
Oh, I appreciate that,
yeah.
JD.
Of
Thank
course.
you so much.
Yeah,
Had a great time.
That was awesome.
All right. Well, that wraps up this episode. Thank you for joining in on yet another hunt for great bourbon. Please give us a 5-star review anywhere you are listening. But if you don't, leave us some constructive criticism in the review so that we can better improve our show. But until then, sit back, grab a pour, kick up your feet, and enjoy some bourbon.
Tune in each week. Sit back. Tune in each week. Grab a pour. Tune in each week. Kick up your feet and enjoy. Kick up your feet and enjoy.
The Bourbon Hunters podcast has been craft distilled, produced, recorded, and edited by Dude Pool. For any feedback, questions, or episode ideas, please reach out to info@bourbonhunters.com.